Hello and welcome back viewers to another brand new episode of At Ease No Media. Thank you for tuning in and you are watching the series Advertising. In today's third episode, we will be discussing about advertising research. So let's start.
Hello viewers. So the key points of today's discussion are the introduction of advertising research, the objectives, benefits of advertising research part that we will be discussing with the help of a flowchart, market analysis, product research, consumer research, and the sundry theories related with advertising research. Finally, we will be concluding this lesson with the conclusion. So let's start. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. That means planning and research is all pervasive. It's present in every dimension of life. Now talking about advertising research, it's a research before advertising any goods and service. And this is from the point of view of the advertisers and from the point of view of the organization who is developing or promoting their business. Now, advertising research, the importance of advertising research. Research when done properly minimizes guesswork and allows the decision makers to develop a plan as scientifically as possible, because everyone wants to make the most out of it, right? So before advertising any product, the research is a must need. And talking about the cost involvement, the factor engaged with it is advertise cost huge amount of expenses for the organization. Therefore, it's extremely important to plan the activities, plan the advertisement for a product, service. A full page advertisement of Times of India cost around 10 lakh rupees. That means the half jacket and jacket part. It costs 10 lakh rupees, no joke. So, to advertise, to put all the effort, we must know certain things. We must research before putting or before publishing any advertisements. We must know who is the target customer, to whom we are selling our products and services. So these are all important part of advertising. So advertising research includes the part of advertising. So in the series advertising research is a very essential part. Now talking about the objectives of advertisement research. Why should we research before publishing any advertisement? The first comes, it enhances the awareness. It enhances the awareness of the advertisers, as well as most importantly it enhances the awareness of the organizations who is advertising their product and service. After that, to know the attitudinal pattern, the advertisement research is essential because to determine the attitudes of the consumer, which we have discussed in the previous video, consumers' behavior. So the attitude part is important. So advertising research also deals with the attitude of the consumers, the targeted customers, what they are wanting from that particular product, what's their need, what's their want. These certain fundamental things must be cleared. Now the third objective is to know people's action and reaction regarding certain products. Finally, advertising research helps in detailed analysis of their product and services, of their goods which they are advertising. So advertising research, unlike any other part of advertising, it's a vital part. Now the essentials, how to research, the main parts, the main essentials of advertising research are research equipments, market research and market trending. So what is research equipment? Research equipment means how to conduct that particular research. First of all, we need skilled person who will be conducting the research. That means the analysis, the people who will be conducting the research, the analytic people. Now the computer system, which is a must need, along with the internet. And we know that the relevant newspaper, magazines, field research and journals are also very much important to judge, to know the mood of the consumers. So the essential part is research equipment. Without equipment we can't operate, right? Operation is needed with equipments like the same process. It's a psychological operation. It's to judge the psychology of the consumers. So we have the equipments. After having the equipments, we must be familiar with the know-how. So the media research comes. How to research with the channels of media. As we are studying mass communication, we must be aware of the term, the research, media research, through which we will be conducting the surveys, and we will be researching the advertisement before it published to the public. Now finally the market trend. Knowing the market trend is also comes under the objective of advertising research. Which product should we purchase, or which product should we, as a organization or as a advertisers or as a businessman, which product should I launch in the market at what particular time? So it's impossible to ignore the market trend. All businessmen, all organizations works according to the trend of the market. What the public wants, what's the public demand. This determines the market trend. So these are all the essential parts of advertising research. Now we will be moving on to the next part. Guys, now we know the objectives and the essential parts of advertising. Now what's the benefit of advertising research? First of all, it develops a creative design and strategy. So before planning, while in the stage of planning, it develops a creative design strategy. Creating any advertisement is not an easy task. It requires hard effort. So with the help of advertising research, it can easily develop and create creative design and strategy for the advertisement. So this strategy involves the planning part, and the design involves the effort. So clubbing both creative design and strategy. Moving on to the next part, advertising research helps to identify opportunity in the market. So talking about opportunity part, we will be talking the SWOT analysis, SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. So with the help of advertising, it creates the opportunity in the market. That's why the organization can plan accordingly. So the third benefit of advertising research are, minded viewers, we are not talking about advertising, we are talking about advertising research. It's a part of planning. So the third benefit of advertising research is it measures the reputation. It measures the brand image. So while researching, it can measure the reputation of the particular brand. The fourth point says it identifies major problems. So dealing with the SWOT part, which we will be discussing in the next slide. Now it identifies major problem. So what are the problems of that particular product? What are the opportunities of that particular product? These particular things are discussed beforehand while in the stage of research. And the next point says that it tracks progress. It tracks progress of the product and services. So it's very important to review the products. So advertising research reviews the product's progress. So it's basically the progress report of a particular product. Hence, advertising research benefits in the development or in the market, particular current market position of any product. Finally, it minimizes the risk. As I have said before, that research when done properly minimizes guesswork and allows the decision makers to develop a plan as scientifically as possible. So it minimizes the risk factor. So the benefits of advertising research can be develops creative design and strategy, identifies opportunity in the market, measures the reputation of the particular brand, identifies the problems, tracks the progress, and finally it minimizes the risk. So now let's move on to the next part. Before explaining the flowchart, viewers, if you guys are facing any kind of difficulties in understanding these particular topics, so please let me know in the comment section below. I will be happy to help you guys. Coming back to the point, advertising research. So as you can see, the advertising research, we can divide this research into three major parts. That means the market analysis, the product research, and the consumer research. So advertising research can broadly be divided into three parts. The first part of the research is market analysis. That means we have discussed before the market trend. After having the market trend, the advertising research includes product research. After the successful product research, it moves on to the consumer research. So these three are the parts of advertising research. So when it comes to advertising research, we must keep in mind that the three major aspects. Advertising research means market research, product research, and the consumer research. Clear? Now moving on to the market research. Market research means market research can further be divided into four parts. That means the microeconomic theory. When it comes to market, so it's a basics of economics. Market can be divided into two parts. One, the micro theory concept and the macroeconomic theory concept. So what is micro? As the name suggests, micro means small. That means it deals with small individuals. It deals with I. It deals with my purchase. It deals with your purchase. It deals with a particular single small group's purchase. But when it comes to macroeconomic theory, it deals for the economy as a whole. That means for the whole economics purchase, the whole GDP, gross domestic product, is according to the macroeconomic theory. So while studying, while doing the research, advertising research, market analysis is very important. And while analyzing the market, first we must consider the microeconomic theory, that means the individual behavior. After completing the individual behavior, we will be directly we will be shifted towards the macroeconomic theory. That means the economy of the market as a whole. So we know the meaning of microeconomic theory. In very nutshell, I am explaining it. Micro means individual customers' behavior. Macro means economy as a whole. After researching the micro part and the macro part, the market analysis consists of the psychological theory. That means the psychology governing the advertising process. We are not talking about the psychology why people are going into depressions and all, why people are committing suicide. No, we are not at all aware of that psychology. We are aware the psychology part that governs the advertising process. Finally, market research, that means the media research, which includes the media, which media platform to advertise. Should I advertise in YouTube videos, or should I advertise in newspapers, or should I choose the broadcast media? So this is a wide aspect. So market analysis, knowing the market analysis, we can broadly divide the market analysis part into four parts. That means the microeconomic, macroeconomic theory, psychological theory, that means which deals with the psychology governing the advertising process of the consumers. It's related same as the consumer's attitude. And the final part is the media research, where to publish the particular advertising. Alright, after the successful analysis of the market, the advertisers shifts their focus from market analysis to product research. Now, product research can broadly be divided into two parts, that is the SWOT analysis and the competitive situation. So, what is SWOT analysis? SWOT means the strength, weakness, opportunity and threat. We all know the full form of SWOT. Now, the SWOT can be divided into two parts, that means the internal factor and the external factor. The strength and weakness is considered as the internal factor of SWOT, and the opportunity and threat is considered as the external factor of SWOT. Now, let's take an example. Suppose I am having a pen, particularly I am having Forte Pencilic 0.5 pen. So, let's sort it out. So, what is the internal factor of this Pencilic 0.5 pen, Forte Pencilic 0.5 pen? The strength of this pen is that it's lightweight, it's cheap, it helps in a smooth way of writing, and the weaknesses are, it is a use and throw pen. We can't refill this, and particularly it's not comfortable. We are not having any particular grip while writing this pen, and it's a plastic body pen. This is the internal factors, that means the advantages and disadvantages, the strength of this pen, the strength of this product and the weakness of this product. Now the external factor, let's sort it out. So what are the opportunity of this factor? First of all, it cost around 3 rupees. So this pen cost around 3 rupees, that means it's cheap. So it can grab the market of the middle income group people. And fortunately or unfortunately, in India, it's a country where the majority people are securing or occupying the middle class section. So this is the opportunity. Now what are the threats of this pen? there are many competitive brands available. I am talking about Fort Pencilic pen, there is Ogni IC gel, and there is blah blah blah, etc., etc., etc. Lots use and throw pens. So that's the threat. So it was an example of SWOT, strength, weakness, opportunity, threat. So the strength and weakness is the internal factors, and the opportunity and threats are the external factors. Now talking about the competitive situation. So what is competitive situation? Competitive situation means to research the competitive product of the particular brand. Now, the product research, to conclude the product research, the advertisers, before creating the advertisement, the advertisers must sort a particular product to clear the advertisers' conceptions about that particular product, so that they can persuade the consumers, so that they can persuade the customers. That means, as we know, the main part of advertising is to persuade. The function of communication is to inform, is to entertain, is to persuade. So taking the persuade part, the advertiser's main sole intention is to sell the product. So while selling it, they must be aware with the strength, as well as they must consider the weaknesses. They must know their opportunities, and they must know their threats. So before creating any advertisement, the advertisers must sort and must analyze the competitive situation before putting any advertisement. So to customers persuasion purpose. Hence, it's a part of mass communication. Hence, while this persuasion part verifies the principles of mass communication. Now moving on to the consumer research part. Talking about the consumer research part, the first thing it comes that motivational research. So to identify the target consumer, the consumer research can easily be divided into three parts: the motivational part, the semiotic research part, and the need-based research part. So these parts we will be discussing in the next slide. Well, viewers, so what's the need of motivation or the need of motivational research in advertising? So what is motivation? Motivation means that it's a psychological concept. Now under consumer research, it comes the motivational research. So the motivation, the advertisements must be appealing to the customers. So to motivate the customers, to persuade the customers, the advertisers must research it and motivate the customers, and must identify the customer's need and greed. Customers, what the customer really wants and what the customer really needs. So once the advertisers distinguish their needs and greeds, that means their needs and wants, then it's very helpful for the advertisers to plan their advertisement, because the sole purpose of advertisement is to sell their product and services. That's why the business organizations are paying huge amount of money to increase their sales. Thus, to increase their sales, this is directly involved with the motivational research part. That means the customers, the particular advertising of the product and service must be appealing to the customers. This appealing part comes with the motivational research part, which is conducted under consumer research. Now we are done with motivational research. We know what is motivation. So talking about the semiotic research. So what is semiotic? Studying of signs and symbols are known as semiotic. It's a cognitive dissonance and conflicting ideas, that why to purchase a particular product. Now, as a student of journalism and mass communication, we know everything is signified. That means there is a hidden message conveyed in every advertisement. So the semiotic research, before publishing any advertisement, the semiotic part is playing an important role. How? Because the signified and signifier. So we must know semiology before advertising. So it's common for advertising students or communication students. What is semiology? Semiology means studying of sign and symbol, digging the inner meaning to convey some message. So in today's world, it's not that simple to convey some message at ease, But don't forget, at ease no media is with you. So we will be uncovering this semiotic part easily. Now we know the meaning of semiotic. Semiotic means, to put it simple, study of sign and symbol, studying of messages which is encoded. So we must decode the inner meaning. The semiotic research means conveying or crafting a message carefully so that the targeted audience can decode it. And once they have decoded it, they will be persuaded to communicate or to buy that particular product. So now we will be giving some examples. So we have seen the double meaning advertisements, right? For example, the advertisement of Magnum. Magnum ice cream, it's a Quality Walls product, the Belgium chocolate ice cream. Now we have seen a sex appeal part while advertising Magnum ice cream. That means a woman is appealing the Magnum as a sexual aspect. The music is so erotic. The ice cream, though it's a metaphor, it's used as a metaphor. So this is the understanding of the semiotic language. Like, let's take another example, which is not that much erotic example, but a soaps example, Lifebuoy. We all know Lifebuoy. So Lifebuoy tells that a story of a boy, a story of sanitizers. In the era, in this particular today's world, we all are familiar that we must be sanitized properly. Now Lifebuoy played an important advertisement. Lifebuoy created an outstanding advertisement. They said, you don't have to use Lifebuoy for the protection, for your precautions part, but you must wash and sanitize your hands in this pandemic situation. That means they are promoting their product in a negative way. They are not using to please use Lifebuoy products cliche. They are using it, you don't have to use Lifebuoy. So they have already promoted their brand in a semiotic style. You don't have to use the product Lifebuoy. For this, in this pandemic situation, always be sanitized with any product you like. So it's a semiotic approach. So now, to put it straight, to keep it simple, semiotic research means the studying of signs, the studying of double meaning, emotional statements that touch the particular consumers. And after getting touched, after influenced by it, the advertisers persuades the consumer. So the double meaning, the signifying signs and symbols, and the message which is signified and which is signifier. Now, after knowing the motivational research, the semiotic research, we will be directly moving on to the need-based research. So this is based on Maslow's hierarchy model. We all are familiar with this theory, need-based research. So what's the need of need-based research in advertising research? Need-based research can be used in wide approaches. So need-based research is not only limited to communication, levels of communication. Need-based research is also applied in advertising research. So a little backlog, need-based research is made by Maslow's hierarchy theory. So what are the needs? First of all, it deals with the psychological need. Psychological need means the basic needs. The people need to be psychologically, they must know, they must be safe with the psychology part. After the fulfillment of the particular individual psychology, they moves on to the safety need. After achieving their psychological part, they moves on to the safety part. After achieving the safety part, they need social needs. After fulfillment of social needs, they need esteem need. And finally, they moves on to the self-actualization needs. Now, what is the psychological need? Psychological or the basic needs are the food, clothes, shelter, this. Basic needs. The psychological needs, the first part means the basic psychological needs. After that, the safety needs. After fulfilling the water, food, education and all, they need safety needs. They need a room. They need a house. So after the safety needs, they need to be socialized. Because we know human beings are social animals. So after having the socialized, they need the esteem need. After fulfilling the esteem need, they moves on to the final part, that is self-actualization. So in consumer research, the need-based, the Maslow's hierarchy model must be very much crystal clear to the advertisers before publishing any advertisement. They must know the consumer's behavior with the help of consumer's motivation, with the help of crafting a hidden message, with the help of semiotic research, and finally they must be aware of the term basic psychological needs, Maslow's hierarchy theory. So this is the consumer research part. Now consumer research, as we have studied before, the advertising research can be divided into three main parts: the market analysis, the product research, and finally to whom the advertisement to be produced, for whom the advertisement is produced, for whom the advertisement is crafted, is for the consumer. So this is the part. So if you are not understanding this part, please rewind this video and go to the flowchart part. There I have mentioned it in an easy way. I have tried to explain it. So if you can't understand, please let me know in the comment section below. Now we will be moving on to the next part. That is the sundry theories of the research, advertising research. The sundry theory further carried like the trait theory, the theory of social influence, and the black box theory. So talking about the trait theory, it's a empirical research on measurement of personality of the buyers in terms of specific psychological characters. So trait theory deals with the buyer's psychology. Empirical research that researches the customer's personality that determines the product. So how the customer deals with a particular product. Thus, viewers, we can say that the trait theory, the theory of social influence, as well as the black box theory falls under the consumer behavior. So I'd like to request you guys, if you haven't watched the second episode of the series advertising, that is the consumer behavior, please go and have a look to that particular video for a better understanding. The link in the description box, and I have also added this video in the iCard above. So coming back to the point, the theory of social influence. As it's pretty much self-explanatory, the theory of social influence, how the society influence a particular consumer to buy any particular product. So advertising is all about persuasion, is all about to increase their sales. Now, famous personality advertise a particular product which public easily get influenced. For example, Amitabh Bachchan, Big B. So he advertised he did the campaign polio in DD. Doordarshan. So in Doordarshan he campaigned and everyone get influenced easily. Now this is the theory of social influence. Not only the stars. In today's scenario, we all are having the social media influencers. So they are also influencing their particular targeted audiences. Remember, everyone is having a particular section of audiences. So the theory of social influence plays an important role in advertising. So the advertisers must also focus on trait theory, the theory of social influencing, before publishing in any activities, any advertisements. So these theories are also essential part of advertising research. Now moving on to the most vital part, that is the black box theory. It's also a psychological part, human mind compared to a black box over here. Human mind, the black box which you can see, which is clearly visible in this particular slide, the black box, it is the human mind, and the inputs are coming, initial phase unknown, public, thus the response of the behavior is the output of the public. The input is from the society, the black box is the consumer or the individual people, the mind of a consumer, and the output is their behaviors. So as the input triggers the output, so it stimulates the advertising process. So guys, the sundry theories, to repeat it, it's a part of consumer behavior. So if you want to understand this part pretty much very clearly, so you must watch the consumer behavior. So this was it with the long video. I hope the advertising research part is clear with you guys. Thank you for watching At Ease No Media.
Thank you guys for watching this video. Keep supporting at Ease No Media.